I met Patrick in 1998 when he was headed off into the first grade. I have seen him grow from a very impulsive young man, abrasive sometimes socially, to one who is slowing down, being more reflective, and thinking about the real impacts he really wants to make in this world.
I could feel like my life was going to spiral out of control. I could see it spiraling out of control, and that's Carlos. I mean, Carlos filled that sickness, I want to say, just with more energy, more passion, pride, and feeling of joy is kind of the thing that Carlos has always given me, and so it's that ability to make me feel as though I can keep going and I can tackle any challenge.
And Patrick comes from the most challenging circumstances you can imagine. And for him to sustain himself through the challenges that he went through in his early childhood, let alone his teen years, and then to go on to the University of Oregon is beyond imagination. So that's one of the greater outcomes and the greater stories of Friends. And yet it wouldn't have happened but for the love, caring, nurturing that Carlos gave Patrick. The two of them have a bond that makes everything I've ever done worthwhile.
I've been a mentor to Patrick through Friends of the Children, and that's an arranged relationship in a sense. You know, it was designed. But now he's out and I'm not working for Friends of the Children anymore. There really never does go a moment in his life where he doesn't call me up if he's got to make a tough decision. He doesn't call me and say, hey, what should I do? Here's what I'm thinking about. Can I get some feedback? And when we get to talking on the phone, still to this day, for whatever reason, it can go 3 or 4 hours and we would hardly even know it. And it doesn't really happen that way every time, but it did with him. And I can't let it go.
Carlos just being in my life and Carlos kind of watching over me, honestly, it's really meant a lot. Again, there's just been times in college where I get this weird feeling like, you know, I'm put in a situation, I'm like, what would Carlos do? And you know, how would Carlos try to think through this situation? And not being raised by my parents, I don't know how other kids think, but for me, that's just some knowledge that I have to draw on. And so he's been really impactful for me. If it wasn't for Friends of the Children, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'd be in jail. There's several times that I can just count and see in my life where I could have made a wrong decision had I not been with Carlos. It just seemed so surreal to have someone who said that they were going to be in your life, and even though their commitment was only to high school, to have someone still there to this day, and now you can scrape your knee, and if you really need to, you can give them a call.
You know, our core outcomes is just to graduate from high school. And here Patrick is not only going to graduate from the University of Oregon, but he has the option of going on to graduate school or law school, and he's going to clearly be a leader in our community.
When I think about Patrick's future, my hope for him is that he will follow his calling and go out and prosper and bloom the way he's supposed to.
I want to get into nonprofit work just because I felt like Friends of Children was so impactful in my life, and I feel like, you know, if I can give back just a little bit, it's worth a shot for sure.